in a car accident. She has suffered only minor injuries but has been taken to the hospital for x-rays as a precautionary measure. Thus, she would be unable to interpret the group counseling session. She has placed a call to the referral agency, but they have not been able to locate a replacement. You, too, contact the agency and confirm that they have no one available on such short notice. I don't know what I would do. It'd be really hard to be in a room with men who have sexually abused children because that's gross. I would kind of have a biased opinion, but I'd have to follow all of the tenets of being professional and confidential. But like that's like going way back up to the top. As for not having another teammate, I don't know if I have the right to tell them, look, we need to put off this counseling session, but they need the counseling session. I don't know if I have the right to ask them to hold off another half hour, an hour. I don't know if I have the right, but if I did have the right, I'd be like, hey, can we just like put this off for a little bit? If I didn't have the right, I just maybe would tell them I can't do this, try the best I can, and then maybe tell them I can't do this. I don't know. That's a hard one. Segment 4. You decide that you really have no other viable option than to explain the situation to the therapist and let him determine whether or not to proceed under the circumstances. First off, the therapist probably doesn't know how difficult it is to interpret for like 13 people by yourself. He doesn't understand that, but like, okay, it's his choice. He tells you that this is a critical juncture in the deaf person's therapeutic program, like I said, and insists that the session go on as scheduled. Cool. During the session, you struggle a few times, figured, particularly at some of the graphic fantasies described by a couple of the members of the group. Nevertheless, you leave the session feeling that under the circumstances, the deaf person was not disadvantaged, and apart from your own uneasiness at working the session alone, you feel that the session was generally quite successful. However, you begin to realize that this ongoing assignment is beginning to affect you emotionally. You are definitely not looking forward to the group session next week, especially after the graphic descriptions you interpreted this week. What would I do and why? Wow. So I predicted that this would happen. You mentioned that we can go to places that will like help us emotionally. I would maybe go get some help for one time. Assuming like nothing after this says anything, I would go and like talk to somebody or go vent to somebody that I can vent to that's not breaking any of my tenets of confidential communication and professionalism. And then maybe try another group session. And then if after that, if I'm still really like emotionally drained, not do this again ever. Yeah, that's what I would do. A few days later, segment 5. A few days later, a friend of yours asks you to interpret for a Cub Scout den meeting. That's very different. Your friend's deaf son and another deaf boy belong to the, Cub Scout den based at the local school they attend. However, they want to attend the upcoming regional scouting camporee, a scouting Olympics that will take place over an upcoming long holiday weekend. That sucks. You have been asked to interpret the organizational meeting, and because it is for your friend, you agree to do so on a pro bono basis. When you arrive, there are approximately 50 Cub Scouts and their parents, mostly fathers, at the meeting. As you are waiting for your friend and his son to arrive, you notice one of the men there looks familiar. After a short time, you realize that he is one of the men from the group counseling session. You remember him quite clearly because of his graphic descriptions of his sexual fantasies, almost all of which involved young boys. What? Okay. Cool. So, like, none of this, like, Cub Scout things was, like, a problem. I would feel really bad asking my friend if I can just leave. I would maybe tell him, like, I don't know if I could. Maybe, like, I know someone here and I have a past history with them with my interpreting job and I don't feel comfortable. I could maybe suggest them to another one of my interpreting friends that they can ask to do this. Or if that's not okay, I would try to stick through it, stay away from him, put my it's confidential. I can't let anyone know that I think someone in this room is like a child molester. I can't let my friend know that. I can't let anyone know that. And I think telling my friend would make them like worried, like, well, what, why, who's this person that you aren't comfortable being around, and why? I wouldn't be able to tell them. But like, maybe if I just stuck it out, he's probably gonna like come up to me in the next page, but like, I don't know. Maybe I would try to stick it out and just avoid him. But that'd be hard. Last, right? Yeah, last, segment 6. I thought there were 7, but 6. Finally, your friend and his son arrive, and after... Oh, I didn't even know that they didn't arrive yet. Oops. Finally, your friend and his son arrive, and after a few minutes, the meeting starts. Okay, so I'm starting interpreting. The leader, after reviewing the tentative schedule, then asks for volunteers for various tasks, including driving, overnight supervisions, and competition judging. As fathers begin to volunteer for various tasks, the man you recognize from the counseling session volunteers to drive and to be one of the 2 overnight supervisors. Yuck. The leader thanks him and then announces that no more volunteers are needed. Oh, I don't know what I would do. Can I call my supervisors and be like, look, like, this is a really messed up situation. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I need to tell someone, because like, what if this man isn't allowed to be around children? Like, what if he's what do you call him? A sex offender. You know, like, you can be registered as a sex offender. You can't be around a school. So what if he's breaking like his probation, whatever you want to call it? What if he's breaking that? It'd be really hard to just let this go by, knowing my friend's kid is around this man. I don't think I could go talk to the man and be like, look, why the heck are you here? That's not right. I don't know if I'd be able to conduct myself in an appropriate manner. I'd be really uncomfortable, and my interpreting would probably suffer from that. I would have to respect my consumer and maybe his health, or like his risks that he's gonna have to go through, him and his son. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if we have to pick one like thing we would do. I'm sorry if we did, because I didn't for any of these. Yeah, I would maybe try to call someone above me and ask them for advice, because I'd be really stuck and conflicted on wanting to help my friend and then just possibly letting kids get molested over this campery thing. Yeah, that'd be really hard. I would definitely call someone for advice and then figure out what to do from there. That's a really messed up situation. So thanks for making me think about that.